And welcome to Sports Chat, fans. We're back here in the home studio after several location shoots here at the Times.com's newsroom/pool hall. Football season is here. Week 0 has happened in high school. Middle school jamborees have happened. Now it's time. We're really into the meat of the season.
Yeah, they just finished up, of course, the big game against Seymour. Started out the season. Again, thought the Cougars had a good shot of winning. Actually played well enough to win in most aspects of the game. They just had some really costly turnovers, fumble, a bit of a stumble on a play that probably would have went for a touchdown, drop snap. Just a couple of little plays like that, and Seymour pulled out a 30-20 win.
Once you had Nick Bailey not playing at 100%.
Nick Bailey kind of offensively more runs, had a quarterback that could tuck the ball and take off. Just Nick wasn't quite at his normal self. Some of the plays he probably would have made, shut that down a little bit more. And they had Jordan Kender's already out with the injury, so that's 2 all-district linebackers that Campbell County's without one completely and the other not at 100%. But Nick is back, should be 100% for the Cumberland County game.
Cumberland County. It's a long trip. It's the longest we'll take by far this year.
Yeah, it's a good hour on the other side of Knoxville.
Central time.
So the game will start at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. It's 30 minutes off of the kickoff time for normal games that you would play around in East Tennessee. Cumberland County's a pretty good team. They had a 20 or 21 to 8 lead.
Against the Warriors of Bledsoe.
Against Bledsoe County. Bledsoe County got back in it and managed to pull out a slight win over them. So, the Campbell County's, they're going to have a pretty good task this week. Campbell County had pretty much a shootout game with them last year, managed to get a win, but that was at home, had the home field advantage.
And we were lucky we got to see, we were talking to the coaches yesterday at the field house. They were watching a little bit of film. Like Justin said in the interview that's already online, they run a lot of flex bone type option. You've seen it before in the last several years of Cougar football. It's very similar to Coach Wells' offense.
Well-executed running plays are hard to stop. They've got a good offensive line, but fortunately, Campbell County, one of the biggest strengths on defense is their front four, and to some extent the linebackers, Bailey healthy, and Ethan Simpson back there playing some. Hopefully he doesn't play as much on defense this week.
Slayton Allen can control the middle.
Slayton Allen, he's good at shutting down the middle, clogging up the middle, working behind that big defensive line. They got a good shot. I believe it beat Cumberland County. I think they should. It's one of the games I thought before the year that I think they should win. The coaches believe they can win. They should win it. They're going to win it. The coaches, they were pretty strong in feeling that they should have beaten Seymour as well. Seymour beat them 42-6 last year. It was a big improvement. The coaches felt like Campbell County left a little something on the field with that game. Let one get away from it. They probably should have.
Now, back to the Seymour game. It was not a doom and gloom game. Ethan Simpson just brutalized defenders running the ball.
Yeah, Ethan Simpson looked really good. Really, really solid running. He played quite a bit at linebacker too. Got a little tired towards the end. He gutted it out. And Campbell County rode him down the field to make it 27-20.
Of course, Corey Phillips had probably his best game as a receiver for the Cougars.
Yeah, he caught a nice 80-yard touchdown pass from Ethan Jeffers. And Jeffers, he had a little bit of a rough game. A lot of it, and he had some receiver that had a little bit of got jammed on some routes, and he cost him an interception.
Timing's key in an offense.
Their offense is predicated almost entirely on that receiver being at the spot where he's throwing that ball to. And if the receiver lets himself get jammed or lets himself get caught up in traffic, he's obviously not going to be there when the ball gets there. You can watch them in practice, and they constantly run the play over and over again to get the timing down. That's what they do. And if he's bumped or jammed or he lets the defender tie him up, then the timing's not there, and it's going to be an interception on that. Otherwise, some of his down the field plays, like the one where Brandon Long stumbled and the one where he threw an interception on, the coach is willing to accept the interception there. He said, "It's my fault if that ball's intercepted. I'm throwing it down the field. That's the play I'm calling." And, throwing it 35, 40 yards down the field on third, second and long, third and long, it's not that big of a deal if you do throw an interception. Because it's just as well as a punt.
Defensively, Slayton Allen by far led the team in tackles in that game. Dylan Presnell is actually another story to look at on defense.
Yeah, Presnell, he had a big sack, got some tackles in the backfield. I was really impressed with both the offensive and defensive lines. Coach Sweeney, Coach Parker did a really good job getting those units cohesive, coached up, going strong. Matt's strength and conditioning program's going strong. I think that I recall Jefferson actually got sacked one time. I mean, the snap that went by him, it got away from him, that counts as a sack. But there was a
real sack.
A real sack one time, and that was sort of a coverage sack because he was scrambling around on fourth and long trying to find a receiver downfield. Otherwise, the ball came out crisp and clean for the most part. Wasn't a lot of pressure on him. The offensive line opened up some nice holes for Ethan Miller and Ethan Simpson both to run through. It just, one of those games where there's just 2 or 3 plays it gets away from you. Seymour had a freakishly good field goal kicker, which in a normal high school game, at worst, you're going to be down 27-20 and still have a shot at winning late. And you can probably do a few different things, but he hit that 47-yard field goal. Campbell County had stopped them, and that put Campbell County down 10. They had to force a few passes, and it ended up being an interception to end the game for Campbell County, basically.
Now, stepping away from Campbell County football for just a minute, this is one of the biggest weekends for East Tennessee football ever. This is the weekend where Sunday, Maryville and Alcoa play on ESPN2.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Maryville's such a phenomenon in its program. Alcoa is usually as well. Alcoa had a bit of a down year last year, but it won 7 straight titles. And they always have that epic game. And this will be the second week of the season, week 1, and neither have even played on a Friday night. That's how much their program has transcended everybody else.
They had the big doubleheader against Cleveland and Webb last week for week 0. Of course, they got a Sunday game. So, it's a good chance to showcase that it's not just Texas. It's not just Florida. It's not just Georgia. It's not just Ohio that plays good high school football.
Both of those teams have been putting out quite a few Division I prospects lately, especially Alcoa. Alcoa's put out some actual superstars that ended up, Brandon Moore, freshman All-American, came out of Alcoa. He ended up having some off-the-field issues that kept him from prospering like he should have. But those programs, they put out really good players. And obviously it's reflecting the fact that they're really good every year for the most part. And Maryville handled Cleveland easily, and Cleveland's usually a pretty good program.
They're a strong program. They play good football down there.
Alcoa beat Webb, and Webb's always a state level contender.
They run that wing tee better than anybody you'll ever see.
So it'll be an epic clash. Lots of good games on tap this week. So that Cumberland County, Cumberland County, obviously that's a big game for us. Jacksboro and LaFollette both open the season. I think LaFollette opens up with Carter Middle School. I think LaFollette was a cop camp.
Right, and Jacksboro will be at home against Soldiers Memorial from Tazewell. Both teams had a good jamboree.
Yeah, LaFollette looked very much improved in jamboree. They looked more coherent on offense. Last year they had identity crisis on offense.
Well, I coached with Bob Holger down at Jacksboro, and we both coached Chris Honeycutt, Bob and I did. Bob's a very consistent man in coaching, very methodical, knows what he wants to do. Chris, I can't say enough good things about Chris Honeycutt. I really can't.
I mean, to me, I'm not completely sure about the level that Cumberland Gap Middle School is at, but I know what LaFollette was at last year. I couldn't imagine Cumberland Gap probably wasn't a better team than LaFollette.
And boy, didn't LaFollette have some impressive line?
LaFollette's got a big line this year that seemed to come out of nowhere. They had a nice running back on the junior varsity team that had never played football before, probably made it to the varsity, I think maybe at the 8th grade.
And, he looked strong in that game.
They threw the ball.
They actually played again tonight.
They threw the ball crisply and just threw it all over the field. It looked a lot like Cody Parker up there a couple of years ago. And I think the way the offense sort of looks, I can see that maybe that's probably gonna be appreciated by Coach Price at the high school level because it sort of resembles his offense that they were running. I know
It's a very, very simplified version of his offense.
There's a good shot that, you know, I don't know, what was the quarterback's name for LaFollette? Escapes me right now. I know you announced it several
I
times.
did. I can't.
Escapes me. But he looked pretty decent throwing the ball. You don't see that often in middle school.
And then you turn around to Jacksboro, they lost their Jamboree game, but they lost to a very strong Fulton squad. But it turned out features T. Martin's son.
Now Fulton, that traveling squad, it looked a little better last year, a little bigger, a little faster, but still they won all three of the skills competitions. Or about four.
No, we won four of them. There were 3 people who won 4 skills
competitions. And last year they just run roughshod over Jacksboro a bit, and this year it was a much more competitive game. Jacksboro was able to move the ball, force some turnovers, slow them down a little bit through a couple of plays where they broke out of containment. But those traveling squads, they have some freshman age people on them.
They have a lot of advantages over a traditional middle school program.
At this point, they've actually probably been playing games a good portion of the summer.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's LaFollette and Jacksboro part of his first game, so you know, Jacksboro looked pretty good. There's a good shot that Jacksboro
Look, you know,
could win a lot of games this year. Oneida, of course, is going to be up in the air because it always is.
Jacksboro and LaFollette, I mean, they're in the same restrictions that the TSSAA imposes on high school. You know, you got the dead period. You have a certain date you start practice on.
Certain hours of the day.
Right. Whereas these traveling squads, I mean, they're just that. They're if you look at it from a Little League point of view, they're what's called a super midget team.
Obviously, I'm not sure what their rules exactly are, but they're not in any way affiliated with the TSSAA.
Right.
So they don't have to operate with the dead period and all that.
But both squads look pretty good. Jacksboro versus Soldiers Memorial. I've got high hopes Jacksboro will win that one. I'm pretty sure, just judging from the way LaFollette played against Cumberland County, they should win Thursday night.
Well, I'm not sure how good the team that plays. I think that it's Cobb County. I'm not sure how good that's going to be because Cobb County, I want to say that they may feed a bit into Greenville occasionally.
Jeff County they feed into it.
I thought Cobb and Greenville beside each other.
Well, they kind of are.
I heard of a few players.
You got Jeff
I
County,
don't talk
Cobb
County
County,
as
and
during
Greenville.
high school.
Yeah.
And I heard a few players go up to Greenville, which turned Greenville into a powerhouse.
Former Jacksboro star Jason Collins played his high school career at Cobb County High School.
But we'll see how that goes Thursday night for each team. Hopefully they both win. Up across the mountain, Jellico, they started their normal game against Williamsburg. Williamsburg's just a powerhouse.
They are.
And probably a bit bigger school than Jellico.
I want to say, like we were talking to Cody Parker earlier, I'm pretty sure Williamsburg would be what would be considered a 3A school in Tennessee, if I remember my
It's
classification.
a rival from Jellico, especially with a rival in basketball for a lot of years. And it is one of their rival schools because they're, you know, good. They're probably Jellico, besides Campbell County, is most likely the closest high school to Jellico.
Right.
And since Campbell County and Jellico pretty much don't play, or very rarely play,
They played twice.
Jellico's consistent rival in the area is Williamsburg because it's the closest high school. All the other teams in their division are pretty far off. But it's just not really a good match for Jellico. And it's tough.
It may actually be time to end that series.
Probably playing a team that's fielding 50 kids and they're fielding 25. And it's just lopsided games. And you don't ever want to run from a game, but sometimes it may help your team board to play somebody a little better suited to
Your level.
your level.
Now this week, North Green comes to town. North Green put a beating on Tri-Cities Christian School this week, but Tri-Cities Christian School, not unlike Kings Academy in Sevier County, they're a good school academically, athletically. They're not there yet.
It was an exciting week though for high school sports. There was some exciting district games. Most of the teams in Campbell County's district had a rough week.
Yes, South Doyle came back and beat Carnes.
Carnes lost.
Bearden put a beating on Hardin Valley.
Hardin Valley took it hard. Anderson County got blown away by CAK in a strange game where CAK was 34-6 at halftime. And apparently put their third and fourth string again, and Anderson County was scoring touchdowns against it. And so CAK put its starting offense back in there and started scoring a lot more touchdowns against it, and ended up scoring 76 points against Anderson County.
Now this year, this week, probably well, actually, if we weren't going to Cougars County, I'd probably go to Clinton this week. The Tribe rolls into town.
Yeah, they just rolled over Farragut last week, and I imagine it's not going to be any better for Clinton.
Dobbins Bennett is such a power, and they are a sight to behold on the football field.
It's always a strange thing with Dobbins Bennett. They run through East Tennessee a lot and just dominate. And for years they were a thorn in Oak Ridge's side, and a lot of those good 10-0 Oak Ridge teams would go and play a 10-0 Dobbins Bennett team and lose. Then Dobbins Bennett would always lose in the next round. And I'm sure they've probably won a state title or two, but it's probably been
a while.
But they always field that team every year that's going to go 9-1 or 10-0 in the regular season.
And I'll say this: they're going to bring a good crowd to Clinton. I've never seen a team that travels that well.
I mean, it's a big opportunity for Clinton. We were talking about this with Matt Price the other day. That if when you're opening the season, they're playing early out of conference games, out of district games. You either want to play somebody really good, so you can see what level that team is on, or you want to play somebody you can beat.
Yeah, it's a real dichotomy on opening games.
Playing those early games against teams that you're evenly matched with, or maybe a little better than, and you end up losing or something bad happens. It's probably not the best way to go about it.
And it's pretty safe to say that for now, we probably won't see Seymour and Cumberland County on the schedule for a while.
But it's especially trouble, this year would have been big for Campbell County not to have opened Seymour. Seymour's a very good team. And you're breaking in a new quarterback.
He was 14.
He was 14 at the time he just turned 15. Happy birthday, Ethan, by the way. You don't really want that kid or that game out there against a pretty good team. You want to get him some experience against a team that you're more evenly matched and probably a little overmatched against. Get him comfortable. But this was the schedule they were given.
Yeah, the Prices really had no say-so in their non-district games this cycle.
Hopefully they can get a border rivalry. We were speaking of Williamsburg, and Williamsburg puts that beating on Jellico every year. I'd like to see Campbell County maybe play Williamsburg.
Yeah, get a little vengeance for our brothers on the other side of the mountain.
Make it a more even match, or it'd be nice to see him with Cumberland Gap. So, a lot of people from Campbell County on the east side, up the valley, they tend to send their children to Cumberland Gap and let them play football up there.
Right. Now there's several Campbell County. There's actually more players playing sports at Cumberland Gap now from Campbell County than there are in Anderson County.
You go down and play Union County. We play Union County occasionally in the past before.
Right. They have a nice facility too.
And
Union County High School's pretty nice.
We share a large border with Union County.
It's just mostly the water.
Because it's on the water. It's all on the water. If you want to take a ferry across, you can get there quickly. But we share a bigger border with them than we do with Anderson County, I believe.
I would say so. I say we share a bigger border than we do Claiborne County too. Scott County is the only comparable one. I actually wouldn't mind seeing us play Scott County again.
We used to play Scott County back when I was in high school.
Justin Price actually set a number of records against Scott County, if I remember correctly, the last time we played.
We've had some 7-on-7, some scrimmage action against Oneida. We played Oneida.
Of course, Coach Lambert was one of Matt and Justin's high school coaches. He's at Oneida now. Great guy. I love Tony Lambert.
I want to see us play a few of those border area teams.
Yeah, and that can bring some excitement too. You can make a series of that.
And that's easy. It's easy for us to go to Cumberland County. It's easier for us to go to Scott County and watch a game because it's only about 15, 20 miles to Huntsville from Jacksboro. And it's it's at 20, maybe 25 miles from Jacksboro, Cumberland Gap, straight up the valley. It's much easier to play that than it is to go on the road and drive 2.5 hours to cross.
Or even to Seymour.
Seymour's 2 hours away almost. It's a long way down there.
So yeah, hopefully that'll be on tap next year. Now, again, stepping away from football a little bit, we saw the Lady Cougars volleyball squad in action.
Yeah, they split the series. They lost to Carter. We got some video. They won the first set against Carter pretty easily. Had a few problems with service in the second set, and lost it in the third. Both very close second, third set. Then they beat Wartburg in pretty dominating fashion. I think somewhere around 25 to 5, 25 to 8.
And today they're playing both Hancock County and Coalfield, so another Morgan County school.
Volleyball is a strange schedule. They play 3 days a week.
And they're dual meets.
For about a month straight, month and a half straight. They play a lot of games in a short period of time, always with 2 teams there, so it's like they get 2 games off their schedule. So they're busy girls, they work hard, they're in practice every day, have been in practice every day all summer, a couple hours a day.
Yeah, they're worth going to see. Volleyball's a fun sport to watch.
I enjoy volleyball.
I think it's $2. I mean, we didn't pay, we're medium. I think it's $4 to get in.
It's $4 for adults and $2 for children.
So, it's worth going out to see.
And the money goes back into the team, it helps them out.
So, it's worth, what else you got to do on Monday or Tuesday? Go see and support these
It's usually Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So, yeah, that's good. They got some long road trips. They got to go to Hancock County next week.
That's a long trip. We used to wrestle up there. Did not like making that trip at all. You can see the repeater for PBS up there.
It's basically straight over from Cleveland County. And so it's like you got to drive all the way across Campbell County. And then the Cleveland County is really long, so it's a long trip across it.
Lovely Sneedville, Tennessee.
So they got to go on some pretty tough road trips. But, Hancock County is down here today and made the same trip. And had a pretty good looking team. There was pretty big girls on it. Good burn spike and all on it.
Coalfield, we didn't see them play. They had good numbers, some decent sized girls. Campbell County actually has some impressively tall girls. Ryan Browning, I'd be trying to recruit some of them for basketball.
Nikki Ward plays on the basketball team. Whitney Sawyer plays on the basketball team. And I think that's about it, though. They've got several other big, tall girls that you think Ryan could use. Come in and play the Ambry Young role, if nothing else. Just go around the post, play solid defense, rebound, make free throws, make a few shots.
Yeah, it's a young lady Cougars squad coming up for him.
The baseball team's still looking for a coach.
Of course, Ryan Browning's been mentioned in that, and I'll say that Ryan Browning's a heck of a baseball coach.
Be interesting to see if he ends up coaching 2 sports up there. I think he could do it pretty successfully.
I do too. Ryan's a good coach. He could pull it off.
That's pretty much it, though, for sports in the county this week. We'll probably come to you again next week, a little bit more about UT football next week.
Right as North Carolina State looms upon us.
It'll be North Carolina State week next week.
Of course, next week's also the big TV game against Anderson County. I could say it's the biggest game in Cougar history so far.
We're probably we'll have to have a 2-part on the old sports chat.
We may even shoot one at Anderson County Stadium. Fans, we will see you next time on Sports Chat. Tune in again, same Pat time, same Pat channel.